Yes, we actually don't do so much of marketing for the event or anything like this. We really trust on our education services what we deliver to the customer. Here, the complete focus is on about there's a paradigm shift in the way the education services are delivered. Probably I'll touch upon what could be the real impact on the education service of it after COVID 19. There is a huge lot change that going to happen in next 5 years in India. It's not that only few sectors is going to take off, only IT sector is going to take off. It's not that the story. The story is totally different. Engineering education definitely will be one of the biggest boom that's going to come. If all goes well, if all around 100 companies, which is already pipelined by central government to motor from China to India, that could be the biggest opportunity to what we are going to see out. And another big news, what we are hearing from IT sector is that Adani is investing around 100 data centers in India and more specifically in South India. And 100 data centers which will generate a lot of jobs, and this could be the next game changer for India. So, with all this philosophy, what I we are in this agenda, in this complete program, what we want to emphasize is that what is that education has changed? Is it that we are still following the same conventional method of degree-based education, or there is something skill-based education? See, 70 years of Indian independence, uh, India has been giving education uh, only to see to it that the degree has been awarded. Probably this model will move away. It doesn't mean that we didn't have a great model of education model in previous decades. Uh, Previous, I mean to say that before independence era, before British people came and invaded us, India had one of the best Gurukul system. Fortunately or unfortunately, this system was divided purposely to see to it that India don't come as a knowledge power. Today, uh, Shifoli, okay, someone is not to present here. Yeah. The philosophy has changed today. It is all about skill-based education. When new government came in 2014, India came out with the exclusive portfolio in the cabinet asking, generating a separate uh, cabinet ministry for skill development. This is one big change what we see. So India is moving from traditional degree awarding education model to the skill-based education model. In this process, I want to actually bring out some highlights so that the participants who are here and few parents, I was very happy. I was interacting before. And I think that parent was very keen to listen to me before. I think he was first or second customer participant to join this session. What I want to emphasize is that it probably in another 1 hour of time, your decision making will definitely be easier. Which college I need to join, what are the parameters I need to consider to join that college. If you have a lot of ambiguities in this, till I complete my session, listen to me. There is a chat box at your kindly put your questions over there. At the end, I will take each and every question. I want to see that. I want to. I want to see that each and every questions has been answered. We have around 41 people now who have joined the session. Uh, this is exactly the agenda is all about. If someone has any questions, I think some parent had joined. If we are looking for some more participants to join, We'll wait for some more time. And if someone has the questions, can just post me the questions on the chat box here. I'll, I'll take this privilege to answer all the questions that have been posted. Fine. Rupa madam will join. We'll start the session. Okay, I think I don't want. Let me see overall they are still. So, okay, fine, good. Uh, we'll start the session in case if some more people joins, if they have any queries in between, still I can come in between and I can answer this all those queries. Yeah. Uh, we'll start with the session. I always begin with this statement. Don't feel either way if someone belong to this profession also, but I'm very proud of being an engineer. But this is my statement. I repeat this statement. Doctors survive with the illness in the society. Lawyers survive with the dispute of the society, whereas engineers survive with the development of the society. So we all to be proud to be engineers and choose this profession. This is my first take. So I'll start explaining what is the current scenario of accessibility of engineering graduates in the industry in terms of skill is a very big challenge. Plenty of surveys have come down, but few one or two slides I want to tell you what is that we are doing in engineering education services and what we were doing. Is there a time that I need to change the way I deliver my education services? It's more specifically engineering education services. This is one which was exhibited in Wall Street Journal very long back. India graduates million, but too few are fit to hire. More specifically, the article was very clearly telling about engineering education. And very astonishingly, what happened is that 36% of the engineering graduates are not even trainable. This was told by Mr. Sridharan, who happens to be the architect for Delhi Metro. He made this statement when he was actually doing this project for Delhi Metro. It's very, very difficult even to train the engineers. This is the status. It's not that we are doing this. This slide I have pulled in, it's not my slide. This is very popular slide in academia because wherever this slide I've taken from NITTR, NITTR, National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research. This is a government organization under the AICT. They have uploaded this slide and this is what they feel. It's nothing that it's personal about. This a nice joke. Teachers are sleeping, students usually burdened with a lot of studies, huge burden on the student community, and the university and the institutes takes money. But what is real wrong in the education system is all about is, in case this was actually told by Albert Einstein, this was articulated by one of the artists. In our education system, we actually want to measure everybody with the same tasks and same evaluation process. We can't tell an elephant to go and climb the tree. We actually need a system which can measure individual strengths, what students are very passionate about, what are their weaknesses, can I actually personalize my education services based on the strength and the weaknesses of each student who is coming out to my portal? This is the game changer. In fact, if you want to see this slide, this is again from NITTR.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Dhananjay?
Sir, your slide is not visible.
My slide is, after slideshow, it is not visible, no?
Yeah. You present now?
Yeah, I have presented. See, I come to the slideshow now. Once
Once again, go. Yeah. Once again, go back and present now, sir.
One second. You were able to see my presentation?
Yeah, now it's visible, sir.
Now
It should be in
visible.
slideshow.
My slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Fine. I'll just go to slideshow, then tell me whether slides are visible or not. It's visible now?
Yeah, visible, sir.
Very nice. Fine. Thank you. This is one statistics which came out from NITTR under the government body. This is one survey. They went to CII, Confederation of Indian Industries. They asked, given the parameters, n number of parameters, they asked which parameter in the scale of 1:5 you measure. I have highlighted here CGPA comes at the last below parameter. So the very honest thing all about is that my marks, my percentage is the last priority today. Every industry or every employer, what really wants is some other skills. It's not just your marks. Probably that was my days where if I had a great distinction or first class and I used to get the job, I used to get into higher studies. The scenario is totally different. Industry is looking for n number of skills today. They look for their creativity, they look for their innovation skills, how motivated, whether he can able to perform as a team worker, how is his interpersonal skills, how honest and how is integrity. All these things are really taken. And now another big thing is all about whether he possesses some entrepreneurial skills and other things. Why I want to bring to this notice, taking forward, 30% of the Google employees don't have any official degree. This is authenticated by Sundar Pichai, CEO, on the YouTube channel. And he clearly tells that I don't require any more employees who even have official degree. I want to tell even Google and Google Glassdoor is one. I'll just click out of this link. Yeah. Glassdoor is one of the leading job portal. Probably people who are there in India, they look for timesjob.com or naukri.com. If you go to global level, Glassdoor is one of the leading job portal. In this today, 15 more companies that no longer require a degree apply now. If I actually go down and see this, there are all many companies who actually asking, Dhananjay, will you move someone? If you see here, Apple, which is rated one of these, Google, they are not asking even for any official degree. This is one big change what we see today. So, are you able to see my slides?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Visible, sir.
So, Tesla, people know about Tesla. Tesla was one of the most innovative company of the world. Since after that, AWS took over. The tag of most innovative company of the world was kept by Tesla for almost a decade. A lot of innovations came from Tesla. This one company which actually took over the position was AWS. Today, if you go and Google it out, which is the most innovative company of the world, is Salesforce. Okay, last 2 years they are competing. Now, this is one thing I want to make it very clear to all my students. Kindly understand, marks is not everything in life. Even though if you are an aspirant for IIT or NIT, or if you are looking that I want to get into one of the big colleges, uh, well brand colleges, that actually doesn't count today. What counts is that you have talent, you have some innovating capabilities, you have great creativity. There are n number of companies who can actually come and recruit you. In fact, I want to tell you a small thing how actually Google recruits. I had a privilege to actually meet Google HR head in one of the conference. I was asking him, how is your recruitment process? Anyway, Google doesn't come other than IITs in India. He told that I'll give a problem statement. One problem is given, and I'll allot 5 Google employees with the particular person who is going to seeking for a job, given a 30 days time based on the complexity of the problem. You tell him to solve this problem with association with the employees of Google. Is he be able to complete this, even though if he doesn't complete and he said almost is found to be good enough to actually solve this problem, he's inside the system. Like this, even that's why I tell you, Google has its own way of measuring the people. 30% of the Google employees don't have any official degree. Down the line, probably I don't know. It may cross you around 60 to 70% of the Google employees don't, because they have their own way of mechanism to measure the employees who comes to their doors. This so in supporting this reality, we need to move beyond traditional degree-driven education to embrace new models of self-paced, lifelong, and just learning using the latest technologies to bridge the skill gap.
Sir, there is a request from one of the participant. If you can go full screen, sir, slideshow.
1 second.
In the mobile, visibility will be better.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Done. I am there, no? Hello?
Yes, sir. Please carry on, sir.
Please, done. So, we need a complete different way of education delivery. We need a mode of traditional degree-driven education system. Some new models are emerging today. We call it as self-paced learning, lifelong learning, and what I require just learning. And we need to actually incorporate a lot of latest technologies to build this skill gap. So not only we, it's completely world is moving towards from degree-based education system to the skill-based education system. I want to emphasize a little bit on this. 21st generation workers must become fully invested in their own continuous learning process if they want to remain employed. It's not that I got employed in a company, my learning stops here. No. People think it's lifelong learning process. It should be a continuous learning process that need to be actually be built in each and every individual. So that's the reason it's undoubtedly require a collaborative research and development effort between academia and industry. industry actually plays a very, very important role. So now many universities are taking lead. They are creating a pilot and evaluating digital learning tools and experiential curricula that can effectively be in both the settings. Good news is that India government is already forefront taking steps to reform Indian education system. I don't know how many people know about this. New education policy is in place already. Uh, it will get implemented from the next academic year. This could be the next big game changer for Indian education. So we are moving from degree-based education to the skill-based. What is the concern? What we feel is that I don't know. The people who are there in PUC 2 here, they may not understand the word called as Industry Revolution 4.0. Industry 1 was there, Industry 2 was there, Industry 3 was basically with respect to revolution as a IT, automation, electronics, and all this was basically, it started in 1969. People coined it as Industry 3.0. Industry 4. We are at the verge now to accept Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 was coined by the company called as Bosch at German. Germans called it because Germans knows about a lot of innovations have come from the company called as Bosch. They have completely automated the manufacturing unit. You don't find even a singular manpower, human manpower on the shop floor. Total automation. All is managed by the robots. Looking this into scenario where Industry 4.0 is going to revolutionize the complete world, my workforce will be totally different. So it becomes necessary for each and every education institutions now to actually go and impart those skills which is required for the Industry 4.0. So this is exactly what I keep on telling. For next generation, my education services model should be totally different. And another big thing what Industry 4.0 will actually bring is it will bring the everything on single platform. Uh, for a layman perspective, uh, for example, today we are working on different mobile devices, different operating systems, different platforms. But 4.0 will bring the convergence on a single platform. This could be the next game changer. And if I want to really look it back and see the evolution here, we started with only 100,000 phones, computers, mainframe. Now we are somewhere around 75 billion smartphones. And if I see the technology that is moving today, people called cloud was a big thing. Cloud is not a big thing. Social media was a big thing. Now it is also obsolete. Mobile is a big thing. Probably Industry 4.0 will actually bring the revolution on some new technologies called as IoT and artificial intelligence. So another big change what we see is that on an average 1 million new users per day come online. This is a very recent statistics. This is all Gartner's reports what I'm telling. 57% of the world's population is now connected. Half the population is almost connected on mobile. 2/3 of the world population are mobile users. 55% of all active connections are from mobile. And another big change what I looking is that 5G is going to revolutionize the complete telecom sector and the internet space. Many people thought that Jio made a big difference to everybody's life. Thanks to Reliance, they revolutionized the complete, many competitors actually vanished there. That is not actually the revolution. 5G will still revolutionize much bigger way. 5G can carry data 10 times more than 4G. One of the biggest driver will be for the next education services will be the 5G, which people actually is going to replace your LTE. LTE is 4G long-term evolution concept. So where it will actually all IoT devices can be connected and 5G is going to enable this. So, Industry 4.0, what people say is that the skills required for Industry 4.0 is not about upskilling, it's all about reskilling. Many times, as in being in a teaching fraternity for a quite long time, we always insist our teachers to upskill themselves because technology changes, a lot of disruption in technology happens. We need to get adapted to the new technologies. But even my fundamentals are getting changed. That's very, very shocking today. So people were using the word called as upskilling. Now people are using the word called as reskilling. So Industry 4.0 workforce requires not just upskilling, it's all about reskilling. So there is one survey which has been done by World Economic Forum. It is estimated that around 75 million jobs will be lost or massively disrupted by machines by 2025, hardly in another 5 years. While another 133 million new roles may emerge that are more adapted to new divisions of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms. So, my workers will be not only humans, it will be machines and it will be algorithms, which actually be the part of my complete team. This would be the next game changer. And what is the next generation workforce looks is something called as hybrid skilled knowledge workers. One time,
We are not able to screen, sir.
you're not able to see the screen.
Um,
Is it visible to others? Screen is visible.
Sir, kindly share the screen, sir. Your
I'll
face is
share
visible.
this.
Reshare it.
No. Sir, dear participants, please pin, go to people, pin on principal EPCET presenting. If you pin on that, presentation will be visible.
Okay.
I could
Okay,
see him.
now you check it out once again. Is it visible? My slide
It is
is
visible.
now I am on the
Visible, sir.
slide called as new hybrid skilled knowledge workers. Is that slide visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Yogesh, sir, can you see that?
No, sir.
Go to people, sir. Go to people where 50
So I have
people are
done
there.
slideshow, or else now it is visible, Yogesh?
no, sir.
Oh, no, I think
I
few,
can see, sir. I can see that.
few more participants can respond to me that whether the slides are visible. I think if you're on mobile, you should actually swipe left side or right side. You can check it out. If
Sir,
you're on
it's
your,
not. It's not visible, sir.
It is not visible, sir.
let me.
Sir, most of the people are telling it is not visible.
I'll stop and I'll come back once.
Wherein I can see that.
I'm visible?
Yes, sir. You are
Okay.
visible, sir.
Slides not visible, sir.
Slides. I'm going to put it out. Now,
Now
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yes, sir.
Now it's coming, sir.
Zoom it, sir. Little bit.
You go to slideshow, sir.
one second. 1 second. I will. Now it's visible. Is it echoing? There is 2 meetings going on. Dhananjay?
No,
No,
sir,
sir.
you are visible, sir. It is going good, sir. You are visible, sir, and your screen also. No, sir, normally when you present, presentation will start and you will be visible in another camera. People have to
That's
see
correct.
presentation.
That's correct. Okay. Fine. Because my voice is getting echoed.
Yes.
Someone,
So
you mute everybody.
Harshit Reddy, I'll try to mute him. Sound is coming from there.
Okay.
Sir, please unmute, sir, yourself.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Be able to see the screen now?
Yes, sir. Now we are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine.
Kindly go for slideshow, sir.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Done.
Done, sir.
All is fine?
Yes, you can proceed, sir.
Great. See, what I was referring is all about the new skills for next generation or the next generation workforce is something called as hybrid skilled knowledge workers, wherein who can operate in jobs that have never needed to exist before. It was not even before. People call it as a multidisciplinary skill sets. Probably today we see that it's only about specializations of computer science, electronics, mechanical, and all these things. Today, I don't really understand many students who come to me for a admission. Everyone wants to get into computer science. Everyone wants to get into uh, information science or IT background. That's not true. Tomorrow, the next generation skill sets requires hybrid skills knowledge, multidisciplinary skill sets. I mean to say that if I take an example of a mobile, the mobile consists of the contribution of each and every engineering discipline. There's an electronics guy where my Qualcomm processor exhibits. There's a physics guy, vibrations comes into the picture. There's a battery, chemistry people come into. There's a software, Android operating system is there. You have each and every discipline plays a very, very important role. Probably next generation workforce, it is not about very, very specific domains or very, very specific skill sets. It's all about hybrid skilled knowledge workers. So it was stating that we need to prepare our workforce just once with few changes to the curriculum. It doesn't work out. As Industry 4.0 matures, we'll need a responsive workforce capable of adapting to the new processes, systems, and tools every few years. That is undoubtedly require a collaborative research and development effort between academia and industry. Industry is a key for the academia changes. Any institute which actually doesn't collaborate with industry, doesn't understand what is the industry requirements, then there is no point in actually I simply follow what some university gives to us. So future learning will be totally different. This is George Simmons who put once the way we learn should be our most personalized experience, because no two people process information the same way. That said, artificial intelligence is fast becoming the key to fulfilling that dictum. In fact, every more sophisticated AI technologies like analytics, machine learning, and chatbots are being rapidly deployed in the service of personalized and responsive learning, enabling us to focus on mastering the right skills in the right way for the right job. This is actually the future learning. That means in my learning curve, how I actually get personalized my learning, where I have strengths, what skills my strengths gets mapped out. So this all things is going to be the next future change delivery. I don't want to actually spend more time on this. I want to take up a lot of questions for you people. Uh, Probably next learning will also get changed. It will all be immersive learning. This is one new concept which has been emerged today. Immersive learning is basically a process of learning with the usage of simulated or AI environment. So I think so someone sees some university advertisements or augmented reality advertisements. I don't need to get any screen in front of me. It's all everything in the air. I need to put my Google Class, wear the Google Class, and I can actually learn everything. I can get a 360-degree view of uh, all learning platforms. And this is going to change. And future jobs will also change. I don't know, someone who predicted at 2030, they predicted in 2030 that 2025 drone will be the next big technology. No, drones, if you see after COVID-19, even police department is using drones to see how many people have come out of their homes. That is not at all what I am speaking all about. What could be the next change changer is in next 2 years, what people thought is that by 2022, it's all about data scientists, data analytics, software and applications, e-commerce, social media specialists. This is what 2022 World Economic Forum predicts. I'm not even speaking about this. In next 4-5 years, when Industry 4.0 takes up a big shape in the world, my job profiles will totally change. Current job opportunities, what people call it as a blockchain, mobile developers, digital marketing, system analysis, probably these all keywords will also become obsolete. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. So future options could include something called as personal privacy advisors, smart building designers and technicians, cyber organization with cyber org designers and robotic service technicians, remote healthcare engineers, weather control and genetic engineers, extinct species revivalists, mind transfer specialists. I don't want to actually, the time permits, I want to tell each and every portfolio or what are these designations will all be about. Anyway, next time, if people are interested, you can actually put a mail to me. I will tell you what each and every designation is all about. So there are some exemplary job postings. I use the word called as exemplary job postings. Edge computing, someone is speaking about this. Cyber city analysts. It's not only about software engineer tomorrow. And it doesn't mean that I need to be only computer science, only electronics engineer to take up all these job postings. No, that's not the necessary. As I told in the before, independent of what profile you have, you need to have hybrid skill sets, multidisciplinary skill sets to actually go and take up all these exemplary job postings. People also looking something called a chief trust officer, quantum machine learning analysts, personal data broker, personal memory curator, augmented journey builder, genetic diversity officer. These are few things. Trust me, my dear friends, very few people in academic fraternity knows about all these things. I was well connected with industry. I was a chairman for Computer Society of India for Bangalore chapter. Had a privilege to interact with a lot of industry folks. And I follow a lot of good people on LinkedIn. And these are all few things what I compiled the data which is on my LinkedIn profile. If you go to LinkedIn Learning, you see a lot of things over there. If you go to Upgrade, lot of certain job postings or these skills are reflecting today. So it's not that this all roles doesn't require only computer science folks. Probably people feel that there are a lot of computer science abbreviations or computer science keywords. No, that's not the case. So let us come to what at East Point College of Engineering Technology, what we do. Are we actually understood all these changes that's happening in and around us? Are we ready to take up this? Are we really preparing the next generation workforce? Yes. At East Point College of Engineering Technology, we have understood what is the need of the industry and what could be the changes Industry 4.0 is going to bring, what could be the next generation workforce. So we have adapted all these things in our curriculum, and our associates with industries have actually made a complete 360-degree industry-driven curriculum and industry-driven delivery also. I want to tell about my institute. It was started by our great founder, Sir S.M. Venkatapati. Was a great philanthropist, great vision, who moved from one business and got into educational sector. We are somewhere around 100 acres of campus today. We have all. We have medical college, we have engineering, we have pharmacy, we have school, both school at one school at HRBR layout and one at Dubai, in international school, and we have higher education. You name anything, we are there. East Point College of Engineering and Technology, we are affiliated to BTU and we are under the umbrella of AICTE. We have 4 UG programs, 7 PG programs, and research programs. We have already given a lot of PhD outcomes. Around 30 faculties have taken PhD from us. We are named as one of the best campus for placement activities. You come and visit our campus. We have a state-of-art architecture. What we actually follow, I don't want to market about East Point College of Engineering, but I want to tell how we are different from others. A simple process. We actually, in first 1 year, we empower the student with strong fundamentals. First year and second year. First year and second year, we started empowering the students on general aptitude, fundamentals of technical knowledge. Either it could be very domain specific with respect to mechanical or with respect to electronics. Based on that, we empower the students on technical skills. Then we do talent discovery. Talent discovery is something very new concept. What we do is that we measure the student on multi 360 dimension. I mean to say that once he comes out of our second year, we give him a test. This assessment is measured 360 degrees. With the report of this assessment is basically understanding each and every individual, what is his strengths, where he is passionate about, where he has weaknesses. Some student may be very good in some other skills. We don't insist him to go for programming. If he doesn't have that skills, let us leave him. We want to show him a separate learning path. So this is what we do in the talent discovery. We personalize the talent evaluation. Each and every individual evaluation happens. Once the student gets assessed based on his strengths, we do something called as talent accelerator. Talent accelerator is basically once we discover the talent, then we personalize learning paths based on individual talents. The learning paths are clearly defined in association with the top industries. I'll tell you what are the industries we have collaborated. And we also do a lot of project-driven experiential learning. I'll also tell how actually we have imbibed project from the beginning of the semester. Once we're done, We also go with the training delivery. What is our outcome with respect to the delivery of the training is we see to it that all learning paths actually go and land up to the industry certifications. I will tell what are the industry certifications we are targeting for. We also do a lot of industry specified project specs. Project specifications are given by industry. We are connected with Infosys on Campus Connect. Directly, we take the specifications of the Infosys. We tell the students to work on this, and students get the credits for that. After that, we don't stop there. We take, if someone has a great idea, he want to become an entrepreneur. We have a facility to incubate his idea. We'll actually push the student to come out with a startup idea. We'll actually take up all these innovation projects which can actually make a bigger social impact. Not only here, in case if you want to start up a company, yes, we have infrastructure for that. What we call it a startup accelerator. We incubate this idea in our own infrastructure itself. So what are the few programs, which industries, what we have tied up is, we have tied up with Salesforce, we are with UiPath, we are with AWS, we are with VMware IT Academy, we are with Cisco, we are with ARM Universities, we are with Texas, we are with Google Cloud also. I will share few outcomes, what we got in recent times at APCET. If I take up AWS, we have 3 faculties by name Nandini, Harsha and Shifali. All are certified trainers from AWS. They all cleared AWS Cloud Practitioner and Solution Architect. They are already training lot of students on this. In next 2 weeks from now, all students will get certified. I want to bring to your notice, dear friends, many colleges, they were telling at the time of COVID-19, we are doing lot of online programs, we are delivering syllabus coverage, online programs we have started. We are totally different. We started online industry-driven programs which actually make the student to get industry certified. That is what we are different. We have today around 52 students who are actually getting certified on AWS today. And I want to tell about Salesforce. We already have a great outcome on Salesforce. There is a defined curriculum by Salesforce. We call it as trail mixes. We made the students to train. We have one certified trainer who actually does this training program. We also get expert from the Salesforce itself who come and deliver few classes. We also have some directly from the Salesforce developer community who come and actually deliver a lot of courses. They have delivered a lot of courses to us. 26 students from our college actually completed all the 6 trail mixes, and in that 6 students got certified and got placed. When they were in the 7th semester. Why I want to tell this story is that all these students who have got placed today, 1 or 2 students, they didn't had even strong programming skills or didn't had excellent marks. I mean to say that they didn't have distinction for that matter. In fact, I don't want to tell the name of one student. Is a 2nd class student in this 6 students. He actually got one of the best job with Salesforce. I think people should know that Salesforce is not a sales company. Salesforce actually took over Tesla for a long time. It was, if you can Google it out immediately, it was the most innovative company of the world since 2018, 2017, 18 and 19. Now again Tesla want to take it up and AWS want to take up that ranking. So this is what we have done with Salesforce as a journey. There is another company called as UiPath. The skill what we are learning in UiPath is RPA. robotic process automation. Uh, to tell in nutshell, I don't want to tell about this technology because few students may not understand. One thing you need to understand is that robotics is the next game changer. Automating my robotics will be the biggest change. We have already have certified trainer Shilpa Patil, who is already got certified VO5. Around 400 students we participated. They got all the diploma certificate. This all we have done in this COVID-19 timing. Many colleges claim n number of things that students are coming online and all. These are all my tangible outcomes, which is reflected through industry certificates. Not that we are giving certificates. And another one history, another one tangible outcome from Google Cloud is that 52 students have undergone the course on Coursera, all for the Google Cloud Associate Program. 100 students are taking this course. We are targeted for 100. 52 students are already in the way, and few already got the certificate. These are all not my certificate. These are all Google certificate. Kindly understand, dear friends, what really adds a USP, unique selling point for your resume when you go and approach for an employer when you're seeking for a job. You need to exhibit all these USPs. It's not just your degree. But in degree in marks distinction will never count. That days have totally gone. Probably if you are aspiring now, next 4 years, probably the game will be totally different. People will look for digital resume, your LinkedIn profile. Lot of things will going to change. So you need to add lot of unique selling points on your resume. So we at East Point will see that there's a lot of unique selling points in your resume before you come into the 6th semester. So in the 7th semester, you are full-fledged, ready to take up a high-paying job. So we have done a lot of good things with VMware. 50 students took VCA certification and they have completed the code. These are the badges, what they want. These are online certifications, what students have earned. Cisco, we have started the journey. We already have few trainers who have already got certified. We are also taking. Cisco is now 300 openings they have opened up, and my students are also participating in this process now. So at last, I want to tell about what's the life at EPCET. We are 90-acre campus. We have excellent ground. Students can enjoy. We make it one of the biggest event. What we do is the college fest. We call it as Samskriti. We teach yoga for the students. One of the best infrastructure. I want to say that. I don't want to exaggerate, but still we have one of the best campus in India. So one thing I want to tell you, my dear friends, opportunities in India after COVID-19 settled down, plenty. 100 companies are already pipelined by government of India. All these companies which are moving from China to India. Engineering is one of the greatest opportunity. Definitely you should look for this. Trust me, engineers will make a big difference for healthcare sector. It's not only that engineering jobs are only related to IT. No. In case, what I want to tell the student is, if you are interested in some mechanical stuff, some electronic stuff, measure yourself where you are passionate about and take that branch. Don't think of only computer science, only IS or only IT. No, that's not at all the way. You need to understand where you are passionate about, where you have the strengths, then take up all those things. Okay, so dear friends, come join EPCET, experience lifelong learning, and take away high-paying job. Thank you so much, dear friends. If you have any queries, I'll be happy to take up. Dhananjay, is there any queries in the chat box?
Sir, I will start. Yeah, I will come to that.
Yeah.
Before that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for being with us. This evening, we all had come together to this live webinar session session on educating new generation workforce. East Point College of Engineering and Technology has always been a great support to the society, and this webinar is another example of the same service towards the same. Today we had our expert speaker, Dr. Prakash S., Principal of East Point College of Engineering and Technology. Sir has all been in academic industry since last 18 years and also have tasted the flavor of industry for several years. Apart from many achievements, few notable ones are Best Educator Award 2018 from Salesforce, Educator Excellence Award from VMware IT Academy. Sir was elected as Chairman of Computer Science Society of India, Bangalore chapter in 2016-17. EMC Academic Award for 5 years of consistent service in 2015, and many more. With this, once again, I thank each and everyone here. Special thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. Prakash S. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, it's me, Rupa.
Madam.
Sir, it's better you mention about the coming session. Next week, one more session is in pipeline that you can just announce so that those who are interested can join even that.
Fine, fine. Dear friends, we are starting a series of sessions with industry people coming and telling about what is actually required, what skills they are looking in. To start with, we have Rajesh Nambiar, Global Director for UiPath. He is coming in next week. We have still not finalized the date. Probably Thursday or Friday. My admission team will reach out to you all people. Listen to him. He has been in one of the best companies, all product companies in his career. He will tell about what is exactly what skills an engineering student need to acquire when they come for seeking for a job to the big companies like this. Okay, listen to him. Not only this, we have already spoken to AWS. AWS people are also coming. We are speaking to few startups in Bangalore. They are also coming here. We are one of the best educator who is also coming online. There's a series what we are doing in 1 month. All PUC aspirants, whether you join East Point or not, that's not the question. What we want to see that you need to understand, is there any college which gives all these things for me? Kindly go inquire yourself. Can I get industry certification? Whether your college teaches for industry certification. Because no one is bothered about today what certification you carry. Whether you carry B2 certificate, AICTE approved certificate, whether you are accredited, non-accredited. These are all secondary. You have talent, how to actually I empower for you. The proof of this talent is basically driven by industry, because industry evaluates, it's a proctored examination. Proctored examination means you should go to the company, give the examination over there. Okay. So we believe in this philosophy here. Is there any charts? Let me see. Students, ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆನಾ? ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಲಾರಿಂದ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಹುಡುಗರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. I was seeing some people here.
Requesting participants.
Shukla is trying to ask something.
Ashok sir, please unmute yourself. Anybody who want to ask the query, please unmute and ask the query. Questions. Ashok sir, you are on mute.
Yeah,
Please
he's
unmute yourself. Better now, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You can ask your query, sir.
Okay. So, sir,
Yes,
now
sir.
this message has to spread for the other colleges at first year level. Somehow we should build a link between the other colleges and this college so that what is happening here, new things should be known to them. Now, how it is possible, sir?
Sir, our outcome will speak to the people.
Okay.
We have already seen lot number of students getting industry certified now, and the way we are delivering and lot of projects what we are taking, it's not only in computer science or in IT. We
Okay.
have seen even at civil department, now research professors and all these things, new type of projects what they are doing. I think this all will make a big change.
Now, sir, lot of changes are taking place and lot of advancement is taking place, but it should be known to the other colleges. Now, whatever we are doing, it is known to internally everybody. But now this flavor should touch the others, so that
Yes,
what is
we-
different EPCET.
Yes, sir. Yes. We are in that process, sir. We are in that process, sir. We are making it to reach out to the all the stakeholders.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, fine. Is there any PUC student here who is willing to ask question? When is the course? I think there is some chats here.
Sir, somebody is asking when is the course starting?
When is the course starting? Yeah. Course is as per UGC guidelines today, which was released. It will start last week of August, but still, if you're planning to come and meet us, my admission, you can share your number. My admission team will take your number. Now we are fully prepared with making online admissions also. Anytime you can just ping us, we'll help you out to take the admission. That's not a problem. So no need to wait for CET. Yeah, you can still walk in with us. Uh, if you are really talented, if you have good marks, they are there to help you out. Okay. Fine, sir. I think
So there is a message for you from one of the student of EPCET, finalist student Varnata Singh. Thank you, sir, for the amazing session. As a final semester student, I am going to miss EPCET for sure.
okay, good. Thank you, Varnata. Very nice of you. Varnata is one of the student who took Salesforce as a vertical. She's doing a live project at one of the company called as Cloud Paradigm.
Wonderful.
She works for DJ Works, one of the leading partner of Salesforce. She got placed in that Salesforce drive.
So congratulations, Varnata. We had some message
Thank you,
from
sir.
Shefali ma'am. Yeah, please carry on.
Varnata, will you, because since we are recording this session, Varnata,
Yes,
will you,
sir.
will you speak about your experience, I think, in this, what is that about industry integrated learning programs, what we are doing, and what is your experience as a student?
So as a student, we didn't get this much opportunity. What our juniors gonna get it, but then whatever it was really nice. Like we are prepared to face the like industry right now. Like if you're going outside and if somebody asks us questions, and we are ready to face the integrity things and then the placement activities, whatever is happening. So even the outside world is like we are getting into it, so we should be prepared by now that yeah, okay, we can face the outside world right now. So yeah, it was good, sir. It was very good. So we are blessed to have you as a principal. So yes,
It's all the facilities provided by the organization. I'm just a
yes,
facilitator here.
because I never thought that I'll be placed in my 8th semester. I thought, okay, I'll have to do a research after my engineering. Okay, then I'll prepare for it and then I'll go. But then it was all God's grace. I got placed, and by luck, by chance, already.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Varnate. Very kind of you. Uh, Rupa Madam, is there anything that
I think yes, sir. I think this was very adequate and very nice. Probably a series of this kind of webinars will certainly help the student community, so that they will be definitely exposed to newer things and certain things which are unknown to them. That's very nice, sir. Thank you so much.
very nice of you, Madam. Thank you. Thank you. Dhananjay sir, is there anything?
No, sir, that's all. If everybody is done, we can close the session.
Sir, I think, can you please highlight that the classes for these value-added courses like AWS is for are integrated in regular timetable? Yeah, that's what we are not a autonomous college or we are not a private university, but still the success story. What we usually people have a different perception. How do you really manage all these industry-driven courses when in a VTU curriculum or non-autonomous setup? Trust me, all these courses are embedded in the syllabus itself. There is a regular timetable what we have put, and my internal marks are mapped to the outcome of this industry certification. So trust me, I'm not exaggerating. Any affiliated colleges under VTU, the industry outcome, certification outcome, what we have achieved in this 1 year, probably no one has achieved. This is what I'm not claiming this. This is what my industry associates are claiming. So thank you, Naidu ji. Very nice of you. Thanks to hear. Please to walk in case of any queries, you can always ping me or mail me for principal.epct@eastpoint.ac.in. Dhananjay, will you please type this message on my chat box? You can also.
Yes, sir, I'm typing.
You can also contact us. We'll be very happy to help you out for any queries. In case if you have any doubts with respect to CET, choice filling, if you want to have any further queries on what is the difference between autonomous setup, non-autonomous setup, private university, how private universities are different, I think we are very happy to tell you what makes the difference also. Fine. Once again, thank you all, dear friends. Thanks for taking your time and coming to us. We'll have a series of sessions like this. We have a lot of industry people coming and speaking in this platform. Be listening to all our series programs. It will open a lot of openings and lot of thought process will come in you, and your decision process will be very easy to make a choice for the next career path. All the best. Thank you once again. All the best.
Thank you.